Ever had a boomer say something so confusing you thought they were speaking another language? From phrases stuck in the 70s to sayings that sound like riddles, these are the top 10 things boomers say that make Gen Z go, huh? Number 1, even Google has to think twice. Welcome to Viral Top 10s, where we translate the generational gap one phrase at a time. Today, we're counting down the boomer sayings that leave Gen Z scratching their heads, opening Urban Dictionary, and texting their friends. What does that even mean? Let's dive in. Number 10, don't touch that dial. Boomers say this when they want you to stay tuned, but Gen Z's like, what dial? Everything's touchscreen now. To Gen Z, the only dial they know is on a washing machine, and even that's digital. When a boomer says this, they might as well be telling you to adjust the antenna. Gen Z hears it and thinks, dial? Is that an app? This phrase comes from the days of radios and old TVs when you literally had to turn a dial to change the channel. It's vintage, but also completely useless advice in 2025. Number 9, hang up the phone. Boomers still say this, even though modern phones don't hang anywhere. Gen Z just taps the screen. To them, hanging up means aggressively swiping your thumb, so much less dramatic. Meanwhile, boomers remember slamming a receiver down to end an argument with authority. Today, the angriest you can get is tapping end call with slightly more pressure. Back then, the louder the slam, the stronger the statement. Now, it's just an awkward tap and an instant regret text saying, sorry, bad Wi-Fi. Number 8. Don't burn the midnight oil. This one means don't stay up too late working. But Gen Z's like, why oil? Is this about cooking? Boomers forget we have LED lights and energy drinks, no oil required. Gen Z stays up until 4 a.m. anyway, burning Wi-Fi instead of oil. The only thing they burn is their brain scrolling TikTok until sunrise. The phrase comes from when people literally worked by candlelight or oil lamps. Now it just sounds like an old-timey warning about setting your dorm on fire. Number 7. Back in my day. Ah yes, the classic opener to every boomer story. It usually means a long speech about how things were better or harder before. Gen Z hears this and immediately prepares to time travel to the Great Depression or a story about walking 10 miles to school. By the time the story ends, you've aged 5 years yourself. It's like opening a podcast you didn't subscribe to and can't pause. Whether it's prices, music, or morals, this phrase is a nostalgic boomer favorite and Gen Z's least favorite TED Talk. They'd rather just Google the history in 30 seconds. Number 6, close but no cigar. Boomers use this when someone almost succeeds but not quite. Gen Z's like, why a cigar? Are we at a mafia meeting? This saying feels like it belongs in a smoky casino, not a TikTok comment section. Gen Z would probably change it to close, but no vape. Half of them have never even seen a cigar, outside of a meme about billionaires. The phrase came from old carnival games where cigars were the prizes. Miss the target? No cigar. Now it's just a confusing metaphor that makes everyone think of old movies and Monopoly men. Number 5. Take it with a grain of salt. Boomers use this to say, don't take it too seriously. But Gen Z hears it and thinks it's a TikTok recipe. Gen Z's like, why are we seasoning advice? The only grain of salt they know is sprinkled dramatically on avocado toast by someone named Salt Bae. This phrase dates back to ancient Rome, where salt was seen as valuable and could lessen the sting of bad info. Today, it just makes advice sound like cooking instructions. Number 4, roll down the window. Boomers say this without thinking, but Gen Z's like, roll what? It's a button. Manual windows are basically an urban legend to Gen Z. If they ever sit in a car from the 90s, they'll think the handle is a fidget spinner. The phrase stuck even after cars became push-button. Now it's just a weird survival of old car slang that confuses every teen in a Tesla. Number 3, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. This one means don't criticize a gift. But to Gen Z, it sounds like a horror movie. Why are we checking horse mouths? Is this some kind of medieval vet check? Gen Z's like, just say thanks and move on. No need to involve farm animals. This phrase comes from the old practice of checking a horse's teeth to tell its age or value. Accepting gifts without inspecting them? That's the moral. Still weird. Number 2, I'm going to tape it. Boomers still say this when they mean record it, even though no one's touched a VHS tape in decades. Gen Z's like, tape? Like duct tape? They'll just hit screen record while boomers describe rewinding like it's a sacred ritual. Back then, taping a show was a delicate art, setting up the VCR, praying it worked, and labeling the cassette. Now it's just pressing record and deleting it later to save storage. Number 1, money doesn't grow on trees. Boomers love this phrase to remind you that cash is hard to earn. Gen Z just rolls their eyes and says, yeah, but it's all digital now. Gen Z's like, true, but crypto literally grows on blockchains, so what's your point? Plus, they'd rather get money from their phone than pick it off a branch. The saying dates back to when kids thought money magically appeared. Ironically, with online side hustles, it's now closer to reality than ever. And there you have it, 10 boomer phrases that leave Gen Z totally confused. These sayings may be outdated, but they're also kind of iconic. They remind us that language changes faster than fashion trends, and sometimes it's hilarious. So the next time a boomer says something about gift horses, cigars, or dials, just nod, smile, and maybe Google it later. Which boomer saying confused you the most? Or do you have one that makes no sense at all? Drop it in the comments. Smash that like button. Subscribe for more hilarious countdowns. And tap the bell so you never miss a generational roast. This is Viral Top 10s, where old school meets new school and everyone's confused.